So I was talking to one of my friends yesterday on how we can become rich. We were talking about it and talking about how we can finally become rich because we both made money, but we both spent that money. So it basically comes down to three things and your strategy around these three things. So you have poor, middle class, and rich. I started poor. I've moved from poor to middle class. Now I need to move from middle class to rich. And here's how I'm going to do it. And here's how you can do it as well. So, what the poor do, if you imagine on their, their balance sheet or their, cash flow statement, let's say their income statement, what they do is they have money that they earn from their job or from a business that goes into paying their expenses, and that is it. Okay. And that is a way to stay poor forever. Nothing wrong with that. That's how I started. And then I moved to the middle class. Now, the middle class, again, you have your money from your job or from your business. And when you increase your salary or your business income, what tends to happen, and this is prolific in the middle class, is money comes in, it gets spent on liabilities, and then those liabilities, of course, on your cash flow statement or your income statement, whatever you want to call it, shows as liability, as expenses, because a liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. So this is Rich Dad, Poor Dad 101, good old Robert Kiyosaki, right? But they say knowing and not doing is the same as not knowing. I've known about this for a while. I've not done it. I've spent my money on fucking Ferraris, Lamborghinis. I've made a lot of money, but I've spent a lot of money on liabilities. So how do you go from the middle class to rich? Well, increase your income from your job or your business. But now instead of using that money to buy liabilities that end up being expenses, you use that money to buy assets. Now those assets, instead of becoming an expense, those assets become income, because as those assets grow, whether that's rental income, property, crypto, stocks, whatever it is, whatever assets you're going to buy. Remember, assets are something that put money in your pocket. So increase your income, buy assets, and eventually those assets will grow that will cover your income and all of your expenses. And that's when you'll be actually financially free. And that's the game that I want to play now. So I've moved from poor to middle class. Now I want to move from middle class to rich.